Now let's talk about another group of risks. Risks in relationship to competitors. Competition. This is also an area where you should not be blind. Don't think they will sit there with the arms crossed and do nothing when you activate. They may also do things. Now, in this group, the first example I will take is that one risk is if you become a too small player. In some cases it doesn't matter, but in some cases it matters. Because if you're a too small player and there are strong players out there that can compete with you, they may press you down until you are out of the market. That's a risk. Another thing, the second thing I want to mention is to fight prices. I know many people say, oh, I'm alone, I can start this garment brand and I can have low prices. Normally, being a single person or 2-3 people starting a garment, as an example, of some jewelry or some other things. Now, when you start in small scale, you often have much higher production costs, and the transport cost per item is much higher, and you have a groundwork you are doing, and that groundwork you are doing, that work will cost the same regardless you are ordering 100 pieces or 10,000 pieces, and then you have to divide that cost into either 100 pieces or 10,000 pieces. And that those who make 10,000 pieces only have 1% of the cost that you will have if you make 100 pieces. So you have to understand that often have lower prices is not a good idea when you are doing a small project. You need to have volumes normally. Depends what you do. If you give a service, you're doing some bookkeeping from some other companies, for instance, then that may not apply. But for ordering products and selling, it might apply a lot. For running a cafeteria, as long as you're good enough in your own place, that is also not a problem. But there can be cases where this is a problem. And you have to see and understand how can you do it. Also from a price point of view, what competition do you have on the price side? The third thing I want to mention is unfair competition. There can be all kinds of tricks and ways for big other players to try to stop you from taking over their market. Now I will give an example in the end. The fourth thing is what I have seen in some cases. You are not controlling the distribution channels. I know someone who was going to publish a new magazine and should send it out. But it proved that their competitors for that kind of magazine, they was also part owner in the distribution organization who distributes these magazines all over the country. And therefore, they stopped them. They couldn't distribute that way. They had to build their own, and that would be too expensive and not smart enough. So you have also to see that distribution channels, if you have distribution, are you controlling them, or are they fair, or how can you do it? There can even be cases, and this is the fifth thing, where competitors try to stop you from your there. Maybe you need a permission and they will apply against it, and you will be taking too long time and so on to get it. Maybe they'll take all kinds of actions. They can also maybe dump prices for some period, and so they take the full market more or less, and when you are out of the market, they rise it up again. A sixth point on this is competitors' development. Now you may look when you start a project, where are the competitors right now? And that is the right thing to do. But there is also another question. Where will my competitors be tomorrow, next year, or 3 years from now? And if you look at that, you will also understand that, yes, I also need to understand my competitors' possible future development. Maybe they learn from you. Maybe they learn from someone else. Maybe they have some research going on which will change the situation. There was an inventor. He was a fantastic inventor. And he invented a new medical product. He got the permission in Europe for selling it. He had the Food and Drug Authorities of USA approval and everything. Everything looks fantastic. But there was only one thing which was a problem. And that's it. He came to me and said, can you arrange the production? I say, yes, well, let's put it in India. Let's put a production unit there. And then, when he looked at that, what he didn't see, and what I didn't see at that time, because that was before I had learned the lesson, was that there was a big factory in Germany, a big factory in Japan, and a big factory in USA. And they wouldn't sit there with their arms crossed and wait for us to take over the market, because this was a much better product than what they had. They would have to close down their factories. So they basically arranged some agents and so on to put a stop to it, see what they could do. Actually, we were hunted over 3 continents for this, and we had, if I should tell you the story in detail, you wouldn't believe me. It's like one of the films you see sometimes on television or something. It was really a strange story, with some agents on our side and some against us and so on. In the end, they succeeded to stop the project. But the point is, what I learned there, and what I'm telling you now, so you can learn it without having to go through it, that if you have a product that threatens big, strong players, you need to, from the beginning, learn how to do it. You have to put a strategy where you actually can meet these. And I have many ideas how to do it, and if you are into such a project, maybe you can use my service and I will help you to do it. But you can't just challenge them head on. You have to have some solution. I can give 2 other examples. There is a Swedish inventor who invented the color screen for the computers. Now, some companies in Japan and other places, they just ignore that because they said he can't afford a process in court, so we don't have to care. Now, fortunately, he got help from the Swedish state to fight the case, and he won it. But it took some time, and he wouldn't have done well. So this is again example that is very difficult sometimes to be small against a big one. Another example I will give, is a company who invented some new memory things for the computers. And he knew he had a very good product, and he found a company in Germany, and he signed an agreement with them that they will produce, and he will get 20% of the turnover, and he was counting the millions he would earn. So what happened? They took the agreement and they took the rights for the production and put it in a drawer and closed it. They didn't produce it. So he had an agreement. He could earn 20% of what he thought was millions, but it became to be 20% of nothing. So what I'm telling you, do not underestimate competitors. You must think of that. What do you need to handle your competitors? Are there a big case or not? No, if you make a small brand of garments, it won't happen anything. I can't see that happen. But there are some other projects you may do which can generate genuine and big problems.